for me to be here at the School of Authentic Journalism. For the larger part of my life, some 70 years, I have been trying to practice and understand how you bring about social change, economic justice, social justice, political justice, without violence and war and hatred.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound.
Plantation capitalism was the national economic order for 250 years in the United States. It was the 1955 bus boycott of Montgomery, Alabama, that intensified the whole civil rights justice movement in the United States. It was the Nashville movement that picked up after the Montgomery bus boycott. So Nashville was the first time that I had the opportunity to put in detail effort with a Gandhian methodology of how you produce a struggle. Nashville did not happen spontaneously, as some would say. Some 30 to 60 people met for 3 months, so 6 months rather, January to June of 1959.
People get ready, there's a train a-coming.
We assessed our local situation. That is a cardinal principle of nonviolent struggle as enunciated by Gandhi. In Nashville, in those 6 months, we determined that we were going to begin by desegregating downtown Nashville. Downtown, at that time in the United States, was the primary shopping area for most families. A black mother needs shoes for her small children. She goes downtown to buy them. She finds that the children are not allowed to try on the shoes first. So when this 30 to 60 people every Saturday morning finally decided we must act against the segregation and racism in downtown Nashville. And we then recruited in the summer students from universities in Nashville. Now obviously 30 to 60 people does not represent a sizable population. But nonviolence insists that it does not matter the size of, at the point of where you're beginning, if you begin with the notion of short-term and long-term goals, a vision that captures imagination. The movement was, the Nashville campaign was effective because we produced a large number of people who were steeped in Gandhian nonviolent methodology and techniques. The participants must try to develop strength and courage, even physical strength, to endure. Again, I feel that nonviolent struggle is very similar to military struggle, except that we're not using the vehicles of hate or violence to make changes. Because one of my techniques of training is to insist that the training help all sorts of people to take on assignments that they perhaps thought they could not do, but that would give them confidence in doing them anyway. Observer of has said that Nashville thereby reinvented the movement. The nation awakened to the issues of racism and its injustice and its violence. Millions of ordinary people in our country said, we need change and we can change. My own country tries to pretend we are a democracy primarily through voting, but in fact, the quality of life in the 20th century in the United States for all Americans was lifted because of the many movements where literally millions of people were in the streets or in factories demanding economic, social, cultural change. The extraordinary revolutions of the 20th century were essentially initiated through nonviolent action. In every decade of the 20th century, in Europe, in Asia, in Africa, in Latin America, in North America, our 21st century in our world must have repetitions of those struggles.
Lo que nos trae Jim Lawson es una experiencia más que hay que aprender, que hay que aprovechar.
My general sense was that it had been much more spontaneous.
Fíjate que no tenía muy claro que el Freedom Ride había comenzado con 16 personas solamente, en un autobús. Yo pensé que era, vaya, nunca me imaginé que 10 personas iban a devolverse en los millones que llegan al mall a escuchar a Luther King tantos meses después.
Lo que aprendí esta noche es que las diversas estrategias y dinámicas que, digamos, que Jim hizo en los 50s en Tennessee, podemos encontrar unas estrategias locales en nuestros conflictos y aplicarlos de acuerdo a las necesidades del mismo movimiento.